Hello fellow humans and welcome to this week's shop review. Now I've already looked at the STR-VK in last video, so if you want to know more about this vehicle, check that out. Now the tanks and this vehicle can be sold for 1,500 gold, and that's pretty much all the value it does have. It does have 5 unlocked times 5 XP, which is very nice to have, so this bundle can be worth it if you are looking for a bit of extra gold, or you just want a tier 4 meme tank that's pretty OP, to be honest, if you play it right. Then we've got the Poodle for 2.5k gold. I mean, it's a tier 6, so its value is non-existent. So therefore, these times 5s only apply to the Poodle. If they were free, it would be a pretty much better deal. But unfortunately, this thing, there's not really much value to it, because, I mean, it's a tier 6 Panther, so it was also given away for free multiple times, so buying this is a pretty bad deal. Even though it does have 2 weeks of premium in it, don't recommend it at all. Then we have the Progetto and the ML1951. Both of these vehicles are pretty good, however, they still have substantial downsides, as in the Progetto's non-existent penetration, or the fact that the ML1951 is worse than the ML1 at, for example, playing hull down. It is, however, a bit faster. So essentially, these two vehicles are both only for good players. The rest of these is, well, avatars and camos, which to me hold no value whatsoever. So essentially what you have to consider here is that you have two vehicles that are both 20 euros each. If you think they're worth that, it can be, but overall it depends. They are not vehicles that you want to have as primary premium tanks. These are kind of things that you pick up just to have fun with, not your main credit grinding tanks. This vehicle is a meme at best, but it's a tier 5 with a Panther hull and the Panzer IV turret, which makes it incredibly good at ramming. So again, if you want to waste 2k gold for a meme and 10 unlocked times 5s, which is better than the Poodle deal, really, except the Poodle obviously does include premium time. It's a meme tank, however, you can't sell it for gold, which is one of the huge downsides if it doesn't work out on the meme part. So at your own risk, 2k gold for a meme, I wouldn't do it. Same with the matching trio. The only thing these things match at is suck. So 8k gold for these is not really a great deal unless you're, let's say, a German tank collector. But to make anything in terms of credits or get value back out of them, there isn't really any there, because you're not going to make any credits with them. And that's the main point of premium tanks, or to have fun. But to be honest, that's not really that much fun. So basically, if you want to collect German tanks, it's still a waste of money. Then, moving on to the E75 TS and Panzer 58. The one thing that does drag down the E75 TS is that 3 years ago it was given away for free, which is, at this point, irrelevant, but nonetheless, it also does include pointless avatars. But essentially, this bundle can be good if you are aware of how crap the Panzer 58 is, if you don't know how to play this vehicle. Now, don't get me wrong, it can work out if you are a good player, and I'm talking like 53, 54% win rate here at tier 8, then this thing can be pretty useful. But the problem with it is that you need to do all the heavy lifting with this vehicle, because on its own, it doesn't do much. Then the E75 TS is a lot easier to play. Standard to rate German heavy tank, kind of sort of on the same performance level as the Löwe, not quite as high of a credit coefficient, so not ideal, but you got a good DPM, you got 10 degrees of gun depression, it does work out just fine. So these can be solid additions to your garage if you are, again, looking to collect German tanks, and these can even be used to make you credits. So it's not great, but it's not bad either, and that's already as much praise as a bundle like this would ever get from me. And then the AMX M4 MLE, it's the big baby, because it's massive. It's a very easy target, and I would not recommend picking up this vehicle. The DPM is pretty low. It does have the alpha damage of 480, which is nice, but it can be penned absolutely everywhere. If you turn it like this, well, you are pretty much impenetrable, but the second you turn it just a slight bit, you can be penned right here in the side on the entire vehicle, and it is a massive, massive target. So essentially what this is it's a Super Conqueror that sucks. So don't really recommend it, especially not for 25k in this bundle. For 20k, that'd be a bit of a different story. It'd be worth more. But for this, nope. And now the Object 260 for 20k gold, including 20 mystery boxes to fluff up the bundle price. The same avatar again. and 30 times 5s that are locked to the vehicle. And then the resources section, this time the rotation is the bad one again because it does include a lot of credits. Credits are pretty much bad value all the time because 1 hour and you have 1 million credits if you do play somewhat decently, so it's not really worth picking up something like this. You would ideally prefer a thing that doesn't include the credits, that includes more gold, because you can't really get that easily. But overall, these bundles, if you do really need them, are pretty solid. Nothing too much against them. And at last, one thing that is pretty amazing if you do remember to log in for the 10-day period, that is the subscription of gold at XP. So basically, you can get 5k gold and 50k free XP for €6 if you remember to log in every day for 10 days. Highly recommend these. Other than that, there are currently 3 draws ongoing, one of which is for resources, which is a waste of money, one of which is for the sphere, which is also a waste of money because you could have gotten it for free, I think. And also, why do they sell this avatar in every single bundle, I think? But yeah, the draw is just crates, but different, so it's gambling. Don't gamble, not good. What you can do is play for the first couple that cost 30 or 50 gold, because then, let's say you get 7 days of premium for 30 gold. That's okay. Obviously, the drop chance for that is pretty low, but you can play with the first couple, but then after that, once it starts to cost 300, 400 gold, that's when you lose your money, and you don't want to pay 10k gold overall for a mediocre tier 7. Or you don't want to pay any money for tier 7 in general, because why would you pay for a tier 7 when you can just get a tier 8 and do more damage and get more credits? In this case, that's the Tornwagen here for, well, too much money. The Tornwagen, it doesn't really have a penable turret. It doesn't have any DPM either. So overall, it's a vehicle that can sort of be worth it if it, let's say, costs 8k gold. Let's actually play the 30 drop to just show you that, what you can get. And, yeah, I've got 50k credits for 30 gold, which is not too bad. So play the first one. That's what the drop's good for, and then you stop. You don't keep playing, because the more you play in these draws, the more you lose. The worst event that World of Tanks Blitz has ever made, and that is the Sheridan Missile, a vehicle that is so absolutely indefensibly evil, playing it should be considered as a war crime in special game modes, and is there to terrorize any other light tank in gravity mode with the absolutely indefensible war crime that are the missiles. So with that said, I highly recommend not picking up the Sheridan Missile. However, the rest of the event is very solid. You can get things like gold boosters and XP boosters, so pick up those, but keep your hands off the Sheridan Missile, or I will break into your house at 3 AM and steal all of your ice cream. So, you know, this game isn't gonna end up in the final video, but I just wanted to highlight the lovely player right here that is very useful, clearly. That right there is essentially why I don't play this game anymore for fun, because it's not. Now, the Object 260 isn't fun either. Now, if we have a look at the stats of this vehicle, 3000 DPM, 420 alpha damage, very good accuracy, so the gun built into this vehicle is pretty damn excellent. The gun depression is only 6 degrees, and the mobility is pretty damn good at power to weight ratio of 20. However, now we look at the armor, and it doesn't have any, which is a very big sad, and that over there is also a big sad. But that's just how it goes. Now, the problem really with this vehicle is that it is a challenge to play. If you are looking for a vehicle that is very difficult to pull off and very difficult to do well in, then this is a tank for you. Now, it costs 20k, which does make it cheaper than the MX M449, which is a equal-ish vehicle that does require quite a lot of love to actually carry it through, because it can get penned by absolutely anything, and it is a massive heavy tank, which doesn't really help at all. You don't want to be a massive heavy tank that has no armor, but that's exactly what this is, for the most part. Now, it can get bounces here and there. It can sort of carry itself in certain occasions, but for the most part, it very much does not. Come on, Stanapy, go. I know you want to. So, there we go. Good boy. You take the shots for me, because you're heavier armored than me. I'm not, but That's kind of how this vehicle feels. Like, you feel like the standard B is the heavier of the two. Sometimes. But essentially, what this vehicle is, it is difficult to play, be it with a great gun. So if you can make use of the great gun and you are aware that what you are playing right here is not a heavy tank, but instead a gigantic, badly armored baby, then you will be quite successful with it. But overall, I don't recommend it. Because why would you pay to then have a worse experience? You can just get the Chieftain or the Super Conqueror, and you have a good vehicle that plays well. So in that case, don't get this tank. Because it's not worth it. But if you do want the challenge that it does bring, and it does bring quite a big challenge, and that Yo's gonna want me, doesn't he? No, he just missed. Okay. That's lovely. There we go. Take care of that. If you do want the challenge, it can be worth it. But overall, this week's shop is not something that I would pick up anything from, really. Ideally, we wait for better times. Because not too long ago, we had the excellent T-54, E2, and the excellent T-77, and the decent T-2065, things like that. But currently, it's not really that great. So, from this week's shop, the subscription for gold is the one thing I would primarily pick up. But the rest, the vehicles, they're okay, but nothing you have to have. Thank you for watching. See you next one. Goodbye.